From the Dave Campbell's Texas football mothership in beautiful Carrollton, Texas, it is DCTF Live and Internet Show with a new look.
It looks a lot different.
Look at this thing.
It's a little weird.
Looking at the camera. And I'm also looking at Max.
No.
I'm looking at Max. This is weird. My name is Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, which, new look. If you haven't watched us live, then, do it. We got a new look.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Is my name still down at the bottom?
Yeah, both of our names.
Oh, weird. Is that my Twitter handle?
Not yet.
At Tepper.
We'll get that.
I am
Don't
sitting here, sitting over there, which I don't have to tell you. You
we
know
don't
he's
have to
there.
Cut. Here I am.
There he is. It's Max
Super
Thompson.
weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be odd. This is going to be very odd. It's going to take some getting used to.
It's also 1,000,000 degrees in this
It's
office.
1,000,000 degrees, and we haven't been on the air in,
Forever.
a week.
Yeah.
Like a full week.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a moment. Today is Monday, July 25th, 2016, episode 171. 171, the number of hits for Benji Gill in his illustrious Texas
Benji
Rangers
Gill.
career. Remember him?
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
A little bit later, we are going to get in, as you can see on the topic bar this way.
Yes. You can
This
see
way.
all the topics.
The topic bar.
Wow.
A little bit later, we're going to be getting into our weekend, or a week rather, half week.
Sure.
In San Antonio for the THSCA Coaching Convention and Coaching School. We got all the interviews up on TexasFootball.com if you want to see that. A lot of great coaches stopped by the booth, had some great conversations. Plus, Mike Craven was there. And in a moment, we're going to get into some headlines, including, hey, Big 12 the Big 12 may actually watch this show.
Right.
Let's put that out there
we'll
because I
pretend
think that we are the people who get things done.
Yes.
We get things.
There's no
done.
question. Yeah.
We have been off for a week. We were in San Antonio Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday. And then Thursday we were in the office, but I was only in the office for a moment. And then Friday, or Thursday night, started a little vacation.
You did. You went on a Greg Tepper-esque vacation, which was like 3 days.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't do that. When I went to Europe last year,
right? That was like an anomaly.
That was the one time that I took
Yeah.
like a long time.
It was like 2 weeks.
Two full weeks, a little more than 2 weeks. I am the guy who I like many short burst weekends. You know what I mean? Like I like when I get the summer.
Yeah.
I want to take off a Wednesday and or a Thursday and a Friday and just do 4 days, go somewhere and stuff like that.
Right.
I think I get bored.
Sure.
So, for example, in 2 weeks, we're going out. We'll talk much more about this. I'm going out to Big Bend again, and I am super fired up about it.
Nice.
But this particular weekend, my wife and I drove up to after
my native land.
Your native land. We went up to Missouri. We went up to Table Rock Lake, which is in South Missouri, basically Arkansas-Missouri border.
Right.
Fair to say.
Right.
It is a beautiful, beautiful lake. We went, met some friends at their lake house.
Second greatest lake in the state of Missouri.
Yeah, you cape for the for
Ozarks,
Lake
baby.
of the Ozarks.
If you've ever been, there's no doubt.
Are you a Party Cove guy?
Oh God, no. That's
that is a joke for 4.
Yeah, you'll never see another collection of such wretched hive of scum and villainy than Party Cove. Oh my Lord!
That is some people. Table Rock Lake, very nice lake, south part of Missouri. We drove up there, and it's about 7 hours. It's about a 7-hour drive. And so the way that you get there is it's a lot of highways. You take a lot of highways from Dallas
and then
up to like Fayetteville. You go to Fayetteville.
Right.
Technically, you go to Rogers, which is just north of Fayetteville. And that takes you about 5.5 hours. About 5.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, oh, this is a really trip.
Yeah.
From that point,
it gets bad.
There comes a moment in Rogers, right outside of Rogers, where for the next hour and 20 minutes, you are going 30 miles an hour on the most mountainous, windy roads you have ever seen.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Arkansas is like that, and the southwest corner of a very, very southwest corner of Missouri, just brutal.
Yeah. And my wife has a very she probably doesn't want me to say this on the air. She's a very weak stomach.
Sure.
She's a very weak stomach.
Mine is exactly the same. When it comes to getting car sick, nobody is better.
Oh, my gosh. She's really good at it. And so she's like, there were a couple of times where we need to, we need to slow down or we need to pull over or something because it is brutal. But had a great time. We met a couple of friends up there and had a long weekend. I got a little sunburned. Got a little sunburn right there. But I need a little bit of color, you know?
Sure.
I don't know. It's the lake life is an interesting life.
It is the good life.
It's an interesting life. I feel like people let their inhibitions go around the lake. I think people are a little crazier at a lake.
Sure, it's a lake.
I think let's put it this way. I think if you go to the ocean,
yes,
not as crazy.
A little classier. The lake adds a little.
The lake
adds a little something.
As my Midwestern friends would say, a little Hoosier to it.
Yeah, a little Hoosier to it. For sure.
It is, but we had a great time. And you're going to be going this weekend, this upcoming weekend.
I am. I'm going to Colorado. I'm hiking in the mountains.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Do a little whitewater rafting too.
We
also mostly you'll appreciate this because you went somewhere that was probably still very humid and hot.
Oh yes.
Yeah. We are going to Colorado and already are salivating at the 78-degree days and low humidity.
No.
We're like, yes.
We actually didn't have a chance to talk on the show about my Chicago trip. We can do that at a later date.
I guess that's true. Yeah, because you were straight at THSCA.
That weather up there, I'll tell you. I flew from Midway.
Yeah.
And when I took off, it was 75 degrees. A little humid, but 75 degrees.
Baby.
Landed in San Antonio, and it was the molten core of the sun.
Yeah.
It was
just
oh my God,
pure
just
humidity.
beats you down.
And I was in Houston this weekend.
Ooh, yeah,
that somehow managed to be even hotter than Dallas.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was brutal.
How'd they do it?
Yeah.
We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. And we have a website. Subscribe to the I don't think I mentioned, but subscribe to the podcast on iTunes.
Yeah.
Do that. That'll be fun.
That's important.
All right. Let's get into a couple headlines, Maximilian.
Sure.
Let's start with the biggest story. And we know we're late on this.
Right.
Okay, we know. You don't save your tweets and your emails.
Yes.
All right, we know we're late on this.
We were busy last week.
We were in San Antonio, and while we were in San Antonio, there were a lot of people here in Dallas.
Right.
Big 12 Media Days. Big 12 Media Days. Yeah. I did not listen to any of the Big 12 Media Day. I didn't watch any of it. I didn't. I was busy. But the big headline to come out of Big 12 Media Days is that the Big 12 is officially considering.
Yes. The invitations are welcome.
Officially considering expansion. Which, let me tell you, you're welcome, America.
Right.
That's our idea. That's trademarks DCTF Live. We are the only show, the only internet show that had the courage to endorse Big 12 realignment.
Yeah. And let me say, because I'm sure there are people who are very excited about this, but nobody as football fans, save for this fan base, was leading the charge. Houston got to be in it. And Houston is now the #1 team in pole position.
Those are the rumors, the rumblings. Those are the rumors and the rumblings that the first choice in the new draft for the Big 12 is Houston.
It's awesome.
Which is, first of all, great.
Southwest Conference.
That's all we want. Let's just get the Southwest Conference together. Get
awesome.
Rice in there.
It's great.
Get Rice. Let's make it happen. Get Arkansas. Come on, we'll make it a whole reunion.
Right.
But in all seriousness, yes, very very serious.
Very serious.
That's awesome. That's exactly
it's
what
great.
It should be. Houston should be in the Big 12.
Yes.
Period. Hard stop. End of story. I thought my whole point was that I didn't think, and I still don't know if they will.
Right.
That the Texas teams the four Texas teams would let another Texas team in.
Mm-hmm.
That, of course, being TCU, Baylor, Texas, and Texas Tech.
And number one with a bullet, the Horns.
The Horns,
Right.
of course. Yes. They're the ones who are the quote-unquote big swinging in
Right.
this
Mm-hmm.
in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Texas is open to letting Houston into the Big 12, then I think everybody else will kind of follow suit.
Right.
This is great news for Houston for a million different reasons.
A million different reasons.
And let me tell you, I think this is good. I think this is great not just for the conference and not just for Houston, but I think it's good for Houston's chance to come in and immediately contend. And I'll tell you why.
Absolutely.
Because the whole talk around Tom Herman has been, all right, Tom Herman is a great coach. Nobody denies that. But how long is he going to stay at a team in the American Athletic Conference?
Right.
How long is he going to stay at a non-Power 5 team?
Right.
And I think that's a reasonable
reasonable.
criticism.
Yeah.
Because say what you want, but the American Athletic Conference, from a purely non-biased perspective, is not a Power 5 conference. That is an objective thought. That is not up for debate. It is not a Power 5 conference. Therefore, Houston is not a Power 5 team.
Right.
Right? What happens if Houston all of a sudden becomes a Power 5 team?
Right.
Then
Much easier to hold on to.
Doesn't that make it a lot easier for Tom Herman to look around and go, I did just sign this big new contract, and I'm kind of a god here.
Yes.
Why don't I just stay here forever?
Right. I mean, like, the idea, like, nothing fits his personality from afar. Admittedly, I don't know the man.
Sure.
But just the idea of him picking off giants from Houston.
Sure.
Like, it fits everything.
Of course.
It will be fun to watch.
Yeah, he could still maintain I think Houston could still maintain the underdog mentality that, like, we're the new guys, we're the party crashers,
Right.
and yeah, we're the team that everybody's going to forget about.
Right.
We're the team that everybody's going to be like, oh wait, they're in the conference. Like, they're going to take West Virginia's spot as the team that everybody kind of forgets is in the conference, and then one day they're just going to be Big 12 champions, and everyone's going to be like, wait, where'd that come from?
How'd this happen?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that is huge news if it comes down. And look, there are a lot of hurdles to get by.
So many.
To get over.
This thing, I mean, realignment may not happen.
It literally, they've said is that they're looking into it.
Yeah. I
Is
think
that
it
they're
will.
considering.
I think
Now,
this means it will.
I think it will too.
Yeah.
I think that the Big 12 has taken so many L's lately that it would only, like, they can't take another.
Right.
And they can't say, oh, we're going to realign, and then don't.
Right.
Like, I think once they came out and said that, that was the moment where they said, okay, we're gonna realign. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, other expansion candidates, right? Houston's the big talk.
Well, before we get there, 12 or 14, if you have your druthers.
16.
Well, sure, right?
If I have my druthers,
Yeah,
16.
16.
But
Let's go all out for sure.
I think 14 because you want to have, there's a certain strength in numbers that come along with this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look around the other powerful conferences, how many teams does the Big Ten have? 14?
Mm-hmm.
How many teams does the SEC have?
14 or
14.
16?
14. The only major conference that has less than, besides the Big Ten, or 12 obviously, that has less than 14 teams is the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is that I think, in my opinion, because that is such a regional conference, that they have say what you want about the Southeast Conference. The Southeast Conference is no longer the Southeast Conference.
No.
Okay, Missouri is in the Southeast Conference. Okay, Texas A&M is in the Southeast Conference. If you want to call Texas A&M in the South, that's fine. They certainly ain't East. Okay, A&M ain't East. So the days of aligning yourself based on regions are done, with the exception of the Pac-12, who have kind of continued on that path.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of there's a decent argument to be made that if the Big 12 makes these moves, switches to 14 schools, adjusts their TV contract, finds a network, that they will now, instead of being the team left behind, I think they'll be ahead of the Pac-12.
I think
because the Pac-12 network is an albatross, and it is weighing them down.
It's not doing great, Bob. The Big Ten network doing fine. The SEC network apparently doing fine.
Yeah.
ACC does not have a network, but they'll get one eventually. So I go to 14 because
they just announced it. So the ACC does, but it hasn't started yet. Right.
So to me, 14 is the coin of the realm.
Right.
That's the number you got to get to.
Yeah.
So who do you want in the conference? We just spent 5 minutes telling you that Houston absolutely, positively, 100% needs to be in that conference. Right. We can stop there.
Yeah.
There's one.
Right.
One. 3 others, right?
Yeah.
I make a call to BYU. Now, I am not convinced BYU wants to be in a conference because I think they really, really, really like printing money as an independent.
Yeah.
But
if there's a way that they can keep printing money as an independent, maintain their network
Correct.
status, and do all of that, I do think they want to be a part of this.
They have mentioned the report. There was a report that BYU is open to the idea of a football-only membership.
Right. And the Big 12 is the same because the Big 12 is not super interested in the we don't play on Sundays narrative for all the other sports.
Correct. That's fine. Yeah, if they don't remain, and they're already in a conference in the are they? They're not. They're not independent
Mountain
basketball.
West basketball.
I think
maybe?
that's right.
I don't know.
So they, I'd call BYU, and if they want to come in as only football, then make that happen. I think BYU is a choice there. I think you make a call to Memphis. I think that
Memphis is ready, man.
I think Memphis is ready. I think Memphis is ready to come along and say, yeah, let's jump on board and make this happen.
Right. And you need someone. Well, you don't need it, but it would be nice for the good faith, and I think West Virginia would prefer to have a regional rival.
A nice bridge.
You're going to get West Virginia is going. Gordon G is going to go. I absolutely approve this team because it gives us someone close by.
Like, say what you want about Missouri and Texas A&M being in the SEC, but there are natural geographic bridges along
Arkansas,
there.
LSU, all of these things.
There are natural, there are natural bridges there. So that leaves one more, right? Can I go off the board here?
Go off the board.
Why not SMU?
So here, I was thinking about this earlier. So the argument before with Houston is we don't want to create another recruiting, funnel in the state away from the big schools, right?
In theory.
And this argument applies more to the Texas Techs and TCUs of the world than the Texases of the world. Texas will always get its players, right? Even if it doesn't get all of them, it will get players because it's Texas.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. I don't see the motivation whatsoever for the Big 12 presidents to go, oh, okay. There's no trade-off, right? The only reason we're in this boat with Texas and Houston is because there's a trade, right? Houston gets the full seal of approval to join the Big 12. UT gets the land in Houston to build UT Houston, right? That's the trade here. That's the dirty work, reportedly, that makes this happen. What does SMU have to trade? Now, that's not to say, and to be clear, I would love it. I would love if SMU was included in this. I think it would be awesome. It makes it an even more Texas-centric conference, which is great for us.
I'm absolutely on board.
I'm absolutely on board with that. But I don't see the motivation for TCU.
Well,
I don't see the motivation for Tech or Baylor to agree to that.
And here's the other part of it. The sticky wicket for SMU is that they are another private school.
Right.
And so whereas Texas would have a big may in theory, I don't think they do, but may in theory have a big problem with Houston coming in, okay? In theory. I don't think they do, but in theory. The schools you got to convince to let you in as a private school, TCU, Baylor, all the private schools in the conference would have to sign off on that. Yeah. And I don't know if TCU would then just welcome in right down the road another big-time competitor. I don't know.
From an academic standpoint, no brainer.
They'd fit.
It would be awesome. It would improve the academic standing of the conference. But there's also the argument, too, and I've seen this posted, and I completely agree with it. If you are the Big 12 conference and you're frustrated with the fact that you weren't able to get more information about the Baylor situation, why on earth would you want to add BYU or SMU and go through the same hoops if there are any issues on those campuses, and you'll never actually know what's really going on because they're private institutions and they can protect what information they want.
The only issue is that then if you don't add in SMU, then you're going to start looking at geographic outliers because assuming you're not going to go re-recruit Nebraska, right? Iowa ain't leaving the Big Ten.
Okay. Thank God.
So you're not bringing back Missouri. You're not doing anything like that.
Right.
Then you start getting into the Cincinnatis of the world. And then you start getting into to me, I think there are 3 natural fits. I think your first 3 calls are the ones that we mentioned. I think it's Memphis, BYU, and Houston. Those are the 3 natural fits. The 4th is the trickier one.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because of that situation, Memphis makes less sense, and that's when they go
just stick with 12.
Do they do or do they do the UCF USF combo as a future play? Right, like you and I both agree. Right now, we're not sure what they offer. Although to be fair, USF should be pretty good this year, but UCF has a long way to go. Now, if I don't think the recruiting inroads are important at all, and I don't think that's an argument to be made. But if the idea is you feel you're making moves right now to strengthen the conference in 10 and 20 years from now, you want the conference to last that long, and your idea is that those 2 young schools programs will grow into powers that make your conference stronger, then I could see the argument. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I could see that play. I don't buy it as much with Houston or with Memphis, because I don't see it. I mean, I think Memphis is what Memphis will be.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I agree.
And they have 2 recruiting rivals in that state already, in Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Right,
Absolutely.
like it's already very hard for them. Academic standards, not really adding much there. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
So that's Big 12.
And if you do the football only thing, of course, Boise keeps coming up. And of course, your favorite in all of this, UConn. UConn still is.
God.
I'll never say it out loud again.
Stores.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's not
asking me to go to stores.
East Hartford.
I don't want to go to East Hartford. I don't want to go to Connecticut.
Rentschler Field is lovely. It's right across the street from a Cabela's,
Connecticut
so you could do
so
lots of shopping beforehand
Everything
at Cabela's.
Everything about Connecticut sucks. I know you used to live there, and that's
I
part of
look.
it.
You're
I think
not
you left
going to
your
hear many
stink.
arguments from it. The best part about Connecticut was the seafood and pizza, and that's about it. And look,
I like seafood and I like pizza.
Right.
But
Good,
that's not
reasons.
No, but I don't like it. No.
Yeah, I still don't understand the UConn thing. Nothing has been explained to me sufficiently.
We're DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and we have a website. We are skipping over the other topic on our topic bar, which was Sunbelt Media Days. We'll get into that.
That's happening today.
It's happening today. I'm interested in what Everett Withers. I think this is going to be a lot of people's first experience with Everett Withers, who, by the way, DCTF Live's own.
Yeah.
I really hope the national media falls in love with Everett Withers the same way we have, because this is a guy that we know is a winner. He's fiery. He's a lot of fun. I'm excited to hear what he has to say at Sunbelt Media Days. We'll probably get into that a little bit later.
It's always exciting with a new coach.
Absolutely. Always. Okay, let's move on, Max. Let's recap in the remaining time we have left. Our visit to San Antonio. We were in San Antonio for THSCA Coaching Convention and Coaching School. For those who don't know, that is the annual meeting of the THSCA, the Texas High School Coaches Association. Good friends of ours, good partners, and guys who, good dudes.
Yeah.
And we had our booth. Mr. Campbell, Dave Campbell, came down and signed autographs. 91. And was that your first time meeting Dave?
I have met him before, but not spent time with him. I met him at when they introduced the exhibit at the Texas State History Museum many years ago when I was still in Austin. I met him then. So,
yes. Yeah. Mr. Campbell was down there, 91 years young, and signing autographs. He signed all day. That dude's a beast.
Listening to dinner debates about who's better, Kanye or Drake. I tweeted about this. Many people reacted to it. You had to be there. But just the look on his face when he realized what that debate was and how far out of his depth.
Who's Kanye?
Who are these people? I said rappers. He goes, this.
Nope. But it was great to spend time with Mr. Campbell as usual. Great to see coaches. We had tons of coaches. We set up the DCTF Live kind of mock studio down there, and we got 12 coaches to talk to
12
us.
interviews.
Yeah. And we could have had 100. I mean, there were. Yeah. It was everybody came by. Everybody comes by for THSCA.
Right.
They come by to kiss the ring, and it's not my ring, and it's not your ring. They come by to kiss Dave's ring. And they all come by and they shake their hands. We had Chad Morris stop by. We had a great lengthy conversation with him. Yeah. We had all sorts of David Bailiff stop by. We had a ton of coaches who ran by. If you haven't seen the interviews, they're on TexasFootball.com. We talked with everyone from Gary Joseph and Chris Ketting, to Jack Alvarez from Ennis, to Phil Danaher,
Rick Rhodes.
Rick
So many
Rhodes.
state champions, man.
So many state champions. And then we also talked to guys who are building programs up. We talked with Chris Roberts from Fort Worth Polytechnic. That might have been my favorite one.
Parrots.
And I asked him about if he's going to ban Pokemon Go from his training facility. We talked with your boy, Robbie Copeland.
That was
from
fun.
New Diana.
Yeah.
We have I should tell, I hope my boss is watching. We have a standing offer to quit this job and become full-time New Diana play-by-play and color guys.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Tempting.
I think for our next contract negotiation, we need to bring that up. Be like, listen, I got offers. Okay, I can move to New Diana, and I can.
Yeah. He was laying the pressure on, asking when we were going to come out there.
It was great. It was great to see Gary Joseph, the coach from Katy. We had a great interview with him. If you haven't seen it, he talked very candidly about DeAndre Glass and all that fun stuff. And then at the very end, I kind of mentioned to him, I was like, for those who don't know, for the younger fans, Gary Joseph's not even the most famous coach in his own family.
No, which is amazing.
His dad, Eddie Joseph, is a legend in in Texas high school coaching circles, period.
Yeah.
And so he was walking around. Eddie Joseph looks great,
Yeah.
and he and Dave. Thick as thieves, man.
Yeah, man.
They are planning something, and I don't like it.
I don't know what it is.
We
I
need to keep
think
those
they
two
might be
apart.
taking over as hosts of DCTF
We
Live.
need to keep those two.
Wouldn't that be great? One episode,
just Eddie Joseph and
just
Dave
the two of
King.
them talking.
Let Dave run the board.
Sure.
Dave,
Why not?
I'm not sure Dave would.
I'm okay with it.
But always great to be down there at THSCA coaching convention. I think my favorite interview. I enjoyed talking to Coach Copeland. Phil Danaher is always fun. He'll always do that. Jack Alvarez. I enjoyed talking with Dave Smith, the head coach at Klein Oak. Very, very good, deep conversation, I think, about coaches' roles in Texas and what they do. We talked about his team, obviously, but we also talked about that. It's we had a great slate of coaches that stopped by, so thanks to everybody. I missed some of the guys that I always miss. Or that I always see at coaching convention I missed. Jeff Reardon, I know, was trying to track me down.
Stopped by three times.
3 times, and I was gone every time.
You were gone every single time. I chatted with him. It sounds like the program's doing well, and they're excited.
And I saw Cesar Rosales, his defensive coordinator. So I was chatting up the Crosby coaching staff. Who else? There's another guy that Gary Robinson from Crum. I'm really sorry, Coach Robinson. We've had him on the show. One of my high school coaches.
Yeah.
He's tried to stop by, and I was gone all the time. But I talked to his assistant. I talked to Eric Sean and Alan O, his his wide receivers coach and his offensive line coach, respectively.
So many coaches.
It was just a smorgasbord.
You missed that.
Joe
but I got
Willis.
to chat with Joe Willis. That was fun.
I talked to him briefly.
Oh, did you? Okay.
While he was in the line, I talked to him briefly, but not long enough. That's the problem. There's never enough time because they're running places. We're running places.
We saw Adam Coleman from the Chronicle. We were like, hey, let's talk to him, and then don't interrupt him while he's doing this interview. I look up again, he disappeared.
He's gone.
Yeah. Coach Xander from Bosqueville.
Yes, Bosqueville.
We saw him walking around. I was working on something, couldn't talk to him.
We chatted with DCTF Live's own Terry Crawford from Abbott.
Keeps it 100.
And he does keep it 100. And we were talking. This is 100% true. And I don't want to blow up Coach Crawford's spot. Yeah. Abbott, of course, is the 1A Division I state champions, the 6-man state champions. Their first championship in years. It was kind of an upset when they took home the championship over Kroll.
Yeah.
And I'm talking with him, and I'm saying, hey, how's your team going to be? He's like, well, we're going to be real young. And in the early going, we got to get some guys going. And he's candid, but he's also speaking through coach filter.
Sure.
Okay? Every coach does that. Very candid. Love Coach Crawford. Yeah. Lovely wife standing right there.
Yeah.
So I turn to her, and I go, how are they going to be? She was like, oh, they're going to be pretty bad in the early going. It's like if you ever need the true the true word on what a team's going to be, go ask the coach's wife.
Which immediately we thought like this would be a great segment idea for the show. Just call the coaches' wives and get their honest opinion about the team.
Every year. Once a week, do the coach's wife segment. Yeah. So if you want to be on the coach's wife segment, tweet us at DCTF. All right, and we can't talk about it because we are basically a food show that
we can't leave without talking about
has the thin veneer of a football show. Got to talk about Eaton in San Antonio and abroad. We'll talk to that. So we actually ate twice at the same restaurant.
Because it's awesome.
Your place.
Yeah, Zinc.
You want some zinc for your nipper?
Beautiful burgers.
We did. The burger was great. I had the shrimp po' boy afterwards, and it was outstanding.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
The waitress we had both nights. Basically, we went out. Me, you, and Mike Craven went out Monday night, and then Tuesday night, everybody, like the whole crew was together. Like, where should we go eat? And you were like, well, we could go back to Zinc. And I was like, done. So we did. The waitress was like, you guys are back. Interesting.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go Sunday night? I wasn't there.
Landry's.
Oh, nice.
Fancy seafood.
Very, very good. You
with,
guys were
Mr. Campbell.
doing
He got a
very
Cobb
fancy.
salad, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the fish, but he got the Cobb salad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then on the way out, leaving. We're leaving.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
We're
this,
leaving
yeah.
San Antonio. We're driving back. We got to drive through Austin to drop off
And I go,
Mike Craven. And you go, hey, you know what we're going to be near?
Lockhart.
Texas.
Yeah.
And so we stopped at Kreutz's Market.
Yeah.
And that was my first time at Kreutz's.
Got one of everything.
I got the sausage and the beef rib. And
Excellent decisions.
holy crap. I mean, if you're going, listen, we had this debate in the car, and we had the debate on Twitter that there were a lot of people that said, "Oh, you got to go to such and such. You got to go to Black's.
You got to go Smitty's. Yeah.
Go get that." There's not a wrong answer.
No,
okay?
they're all good.
They're all really, really good. We ended up not settling. We ended up settling on Kreutz.
I think the tiebreaker was we just looked up what Daniel Vaughn, the barbecue snob,
that's right.
What he said, and he said Kreutz is one of the top 10 in the state. And the other two didn't make the list.
God bless it, it's so good.
It was very good. We had a very good time. It was a good way to end the trip.
I brought home. I had a leftover sausage.
Yeah.
Brought it home, and my wife was very happy.
Yeah. I won't mention how much I brought home to make
you
look
did. You
better.
brought. Home,
I brought Carrie home 3 sides and one of every meat.
Was she quite pleased? Yeah. You're a better husband than I am.
Well, that's okay. It's like I said, you've been doing it longer than I have.
One other thing about THSCA coaching, convention and coaching
no.
school.
Oh,
So, viewers of DCTF Live will know that we end every show by asking Vince Young to come get his Player of the Year trophy. We had a little accident.
We chipped part of it off there.
Accident.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, likes on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Vince Young, please can get what remains of your Player of the Year trophy. And we will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.